You are stepping into a 1930s bedroom where heat stays low and fuel stays precious. Sleep depends on insulation more than comfort. Mattresses sit at the center of that system. Most families slept on thick cotton or horsehair mattresses packed tight to trap body heat. These mattresses rested cold at first touch. After minutes, they warmed and held that warmth through the night. You would feel the slow rise of heat beneath you as the fibers compressed. The lesson is simple. Mass matters. A dense mattress blocks cold air from below and stores heat produced by the body. Bedding layers came next, and every layer had a job. Sheets went down first, followed by wool blankets, then heavy quilts. Each layer slowed heat loss. Wool scratched and smelled faintly of lanolin, yet it stayed warm even when damp. Quilts added weight, which reduced air movement around the body. You would hear the soft drag of fabric as layers settled. Families adjusted layers nightly based on weather. They removed none in winter. The system relied on still air trapped between fabrics. That trapped air did the warming. Pillows served insulation more than comfort. Feather pillows were common, and they wrapped around the head and neck. Cold air leaks fastest around the face. A thick pillow sealed that gap. Some families stacked 2 pillows to raise the head away from cold drafts crawling along the floor. You would hear feathers shifting with every movement. The goal was sealing warmth. Shape mattered more than softness. A pillow worked like a dam against cold air. Bed frames mattered because air moved under them. Many frames stood low to the floor to reduce airflow. Metal frames felt cold and were avoided when possible. Wood frames held less chill. Some families boxed in the underside with fabric or boards to block drafts. You could feel the difference by sliding a hand beneath the bed. Blocking moving air kept mattress warmth from bleeding away. Sheets played a quiet role. Cotton sheets felt cold at first, yet warmed quickly. Linen existed, yet cotton dominated because it softened with use. Families kept sheets tight to avoid gaps. Loose sheets allowed cold pockets to form. You would hear the snap of fabric pulled taut. Tight surfaces warmed faster and stayed warm. This reduced the need for extra blankets. Room setup shaped sleep more than people admit. Beds stayed away from windows and outside walls because corners trapped cold. The bed often sat near the center of the room where the air stayed a bit calmer. Furniture acted as windbreaks too. You'd feel less chill stepping closer to the bed. Placement alone, honestly, saved heat without burning any extra fuel. Walls and floors really demanded attention. Bare plaster just radiated cold. So families hung heavy rugs or quilts on walls near the bed. Floors got thick rugs, or sometimes even layered newspapers under rugs. This blocked the cold rising from below. You'd hear a muffled step instead of a hollow thud. Soft surfaces trapped air and stopped heat loss through contact. Nighttime routines locked everything in place. Windows closed tight at dusk. Curtains dropped early. Heavy drapes touched the sill to stop drafts. Some families pinned blankets over windows at night. You would hear the rustle of fabric as the room sealed. This turned the room into a warm box. Body heat stayed inside until morning. Window and wall coverings really defined the whole system. Thick curtains lined with flannel, they blocked that radiant cold coming off the glass. And walls near beds, well, they wore fabric layers that soaked up the chill before it ever reached your skin. These coverings, they changed how a room felt. The air just stayed still, and the temperature held steady. You'd sense this calm warmth, not that sharp cold you might expect. Fabric acted as insulation long before we ever had modern materials. These days, the application is still pretty straightforward. Dense mattresses really do matter. Layered bedding, well, it traps heat. Air movement, honestly, it steals warmth faster than even a low temperature. Curtains and wall hangings, they're still doing their job. Place your bed wisely, folks. Seal up those drafts before you start piling on the blankets. You can gain warmth without power or noise, and, well, that sure matters when the energy fails or costs start to rise. So, remember this tonight. Heat saved is heat earned. Try looking at your bedroom as a system, not just a bunch of furniture. Make small changes that block air and add mass. You'll sleep warmer with less effort. If this sharpened your thinking, go ahead and subscribe and share it with someone who values practical history. Stay prepared and sleep warm.